So the iPhone 13, what's the story here? Now, where is Apple really? And what is Apple's performance as of, their last few products? We know they're investing into R&D for VR, AR. They're investing into, they're coming up with quite a few new colors of the iPhones, the MacBooks. Apple is expanding at a massive rate, but what are their numbers like? What are their financial books looking like, in terms of the for the investors? What do the investors actually look at these days? You're tuned in on the Buzz with Kings and Tim. As usual, we're with you from 1 to 2 p.m. weekly, now on weekdays. So this is the Buzz. We talk everything business, tech, entrepreneurship here, and you are on Relax Radio. Good afternoon, Kings. How's it going?
Good afternoon, Tim. That it's actually going pretty well. Sadly, the weather I can't really say much about the weather. It is
Yeah,
raining like crazy over here.
yeah. Not the
But
same as it was. It's such a difference to yesterday and
yeah,
day before.
yeah. But then, when you live in the UK, you're kind of used to these different
Yeah,
types of
yeah.
switches. So
You don't really expect much. Yeah, expectations are really low in terms of
yeah,
where you see it's going to be.
yeah, like the weather's always just changing up here. One moment it will be sunny, and then like 30 minutes later, all of a sudden there's thunderstorms kicking and people like swimming in boats rather than cars. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with over here. But other than that, I'm pretty good. I'm spring chicken right now. I'm really jumping about, bouncy, lively. I've had my breakfast. It's a half decent day, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, still so much more to appreciate than a lot of people wouldn't have, right? But
yeah.
yeah. So coming into the conversation, Apple and how they're performing on the books, how the investors are looking at it, and when you're talking about the pandemic, how the iPhone 12 has come out, how it's impacted their money. What's the story here? What are we looking at? In terms of the profits and how
Mm,
they're looking at investing further into the future. We know Apple is cash rich as well,
yeah.
but exactly how cash rich are they?
Well, let's just say that with Apple being the company that Apple has been, they have been active for I think the bare most of maybe 45 years. I can't quite remember when they actually started up. I believe it was in the 1970s, around about then. So, since then they have literally been progressing a lot more ever since. And, up until this point, the most recent phone that's come out, the iPhone 12, as you can see, they have definitely grown in their success. As we can already as told just by yourself as well, there has been huge profits made by Apple. They have been very busy at work, specifically during the pandemic. They will be about to post almost 17 billion dollars worth of profits for the 3 month period that ended in June, and that's the best fiscal third quarter within its 45-year history.
Yeah.
So revenue is expected to rise about 23% from a year earlier to 73 billion.
That's massive numbers, and it's
Yes.
not millions we're talking about. We're talking about billions, right? So
Yes.
yeah, I mean it's super exciting for them. Well, I mean, but to just a fun fact, I think Oppo has come in as the second largest mobile phone manufacturer, and this is beating Apple, right? So
Mm,
I'd say when I talk about manufacturing, I mean market share, right?
yeah.
So you Google the largest mobile phone manufacturers or market shares for 2021.
Yeah.
You're going to get you're going to get Samsung, obviously,
Mm,
and it's as the second number you're going to get Oppo, and then it's after that you get Apple. So you have Xiaomi as well, that is on this list, but it's numbers at the end of the day as well, right? So
yeah.
one crowd might have market share, but Apple has the profits as well. So
Yeah.
um it's big numbers that we're looking at. So, it's like you said, 73 million dollars is, it's not a little, but we're talking about, how the company is on its pace for the best fiscal year with a profit of $86 billion, according to
Yes.
Wall Street Journal. And this
Yes.
is according to a 12-month period ending this September. Now, there
Yes.
is a forecast of analysts that have surveyed a fact sect, and they say that this will be 51% better than last year's record. Now, a year ago, there were analysts that had predicted how it seems to be poultry 11% gain. But Samsung, the sales of the iPhones have risen to almost 30%,
Yep.
and in revenue this is $34 billion. And I mean, April to June period have compared to this whole fact sect, right? And their share price is ranging at $145 as of now. But yeah, I mean, people are looking at this for people are looking at a big a massive sense of growth, because when you're talking about investors, when you're talking about how they are basically where their stock price is going to go, are they at a current all-time high? These are questions that investors are definitely going to be asking, and be curious about what is their where they're looking at putting the cash into. Are they looking at giving dividends out, or are they looking at investing it back into the business? Anyone
Yeah.
likes a profitable company, but need to see where the rest of the performance is going to go. There is a whole, Wall Street conversation about, how their revenues have gone up almost 30% year over year. And this is the second largest year over year increase of the past 20 quarters. And, meanwhile, the earnings per share have gone up to be more than 55% rise. That's massive. That's honestly massive. Um, the iPhone will certainly be a front end center segment, and in maneuvering this company's performance or future. There are so many analysts that seem highly optimistic about the smartphone sales. This is following an outstanding post-holiday quarter. And to talk about PC sales, they've been very robust in the industry, and especially in the second quarter. The question is, ideally now, if Apple have experienced a similar strength, if they're looking at a 10% year over year increment on the PC sales. This is the Mac, and then looking at, just like I said, now since Xiaomi has captured more market share than Apple, they're
Yeah.
looking at increasing their Mac shipments by 10% up year over year. So yeah, I mean, it's a question of how the iPad sales might impress, or the Mac sales will impress when it comes to the third
Yeah.
quarter of this year. But
Yeah.
I think only September will know actually where this goes. And we were talking about the M1 chip, right?
Yeah.
So what what's your take on where Apple will go with this whole with this whole rise in profits, and the good books as of now?
Well, as far as anything's concerned, specifically with this huge rise in profits and all of the extra money that they now have, well, one thing that is to be expected
Yeah,
is there will definitely be a
yeah,
new iPhone in the works, but most likely coming out this year. But also, I feel as though with this extra rise in cash, this will now go towards their idea for the Apple car that they've been having in development as well. I don't know if
yeah,
you remember hearing about this, but I believe they were working with a car company. I believe it was Opel.
yeah,
I think it was Opel. Yes, they were working with Opel in order to make an Apple car which could combat or compete with the Tesla, Elon Elon Musk's Tesla. So as Elon Musk has now created this car which can do so much, autopilot. It talks to you. You can have pretty much whatever you want on the car. It's automatic. It's electric. You know, everything. It
Yeah, yeah,
it pretty much has everything. You know,
yeah,
so just like that, Apple is pretty much trying to have a car that can be able to do the exact same thing and combat that, you know? So that is what I believe a lot of that money is going to go towards.
yeah,
So yeah, with these extra profits, they'll probably put more money towards like the research and development of that car, trying to make it so much better. You know, there's going to be trial and error. We already know there'll be trial and error for things like this. Technology, you know, you always got to have trial and error for technology and make sure you can try to get to the best possible result. And with
yeah,
Apple, that's what I believe they're going to try to do with,
yeah.
you know, the Apple car. So yeah,
Because we're talking about how, it's not just mobile phones, or it's not just, the whole MacBook conversation, right? We're talking about a whole shift in experience or tech. Now we know
indeed.
smart cars are coming. Smart cars are the new thing, and it would be a massive, I'd say, it'd be a massive loss for Apple if they didn't really invest in that the Apple car as well. We know that they are
Yeah,
to compete with Tesla, Rivian, and Lucid. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, if Apple is coming into a vehicle, it's basically going to be around tech, around having an intelligent interaction interface with the vehicle.
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, now you're talking about how Apple is basically going to start investing in vehicles. So it's a big step for them. So yeah, it's super
yeah,
exciting.
yeah, exactly.
Now to break down things in the lines of where the whole iPhone will be in terms of front and center segment. Most analysts have seemed optimistic about the smartphone sales. So, what we're going to talk about further is on how the Dutch teen on spaceflight has told Jeff Bezos that he had never ordered from Amazon. It's a cool story because this is the guy that had willingly paid $28 million
I still
to
find that crazy.
yeah, $28 million to just sit next to him and go to space on the 20th, earlier on the 20th of this month. So
Yeah,
yeah, we've got that in line for conversation. Make sure you're tuned in with Kings and I on the buzz. We'll be with you all the way for the next 30 minutes. But yeah, Relax Radio is what you're tuned into. Make sure you comment on our video. Make sure you ask us your questions. You can also call us up on 07852 473 473. This is Tim and Kings again. Good afternoon.
good afternoon.